Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, assalamu alaikum. Continuation and the completion of the earlier topic. So we've mentioned that there are four levels of certitude or thought. So the first one, the first option or the first level is to be certain. That's al-yaqeen. Below that is al-dhann. It's almost certain. So it's between 55 or 60% to 95%. The third level is ash-shak, to be in doubt, and that's less than 50%. One is not sure. And the one that is lower than that is al-wahm, which is just imagining, I think, and inventing the scenario. So the topic that we were speaking about is the saliva of a human being. We know that the saliva of a human being is tahir. However, if it comes in touch with the water that is used for tathir, for the spiritual or the ritual purification, it does affect it. If it changes its property. If it doesn't change its property, obviously it does not affect it. If it changes its, if you have doubt, so if you come to the level where it's less than 55% sure that it has changed its property, then it's perfectly permissible to use it. So as long as you are in doubt, that's the water retains its tahuriyah. And the same thing applies to when this water, this tahur, this water which is pure, has been mixed with another fluid that is originally from another character. This fluid is something else. It could be anything, but it has lost all its properties. So now it's transparent, and it's got no smell, and it's got no color, and it's got no taste, and it has changed. It has mixed with this water that we are going to use for tathir. This mixture, if it has not changed anything from the original water with which it has been mixed, then it's again the tahuriyah is maintained. And then we have another point to discuss, which is al-hukmu wa hukmuhu ka mughayyirihi. Let's say now we have an element which mixes with water. We've mentioned before that if salt is, even if salt is added intentionally to the water, the preponderant opinion is that it does not change its tahuriyah, the tahuriyah of the water. But if it mixed with things that we know change it, like milk, ghee, fat, things that change its properties, for sure, we know that those things will affect its tahuriyah. And then the water acquires the property or the ruling of the element that has changed it. So if water has been mixed with milk and it looks white, or it looks dark because it's you mixed with juice, that water loses its tahuriyah, so it's no longer tahur, but it's tahir. It remains pure, but you cannot use it for spiritual cleansing. And then if it's used, so this is for the stuff which is tahir. If it's mixed with tahir, then it retains its tahara, but not tahuriyah. If it's mixed with najis, something which is najis, like the urine of a human being, or with alcohol, or something which is considered najis, that water also acquires the property of what has been mixed with. That it's been changed. So the water has been changed, and that water now is neither tahir nor tahur. So it's not permissible to be used for the purification, nor is it permissible to use for al-adat. It's not tahir, so we cannot use it for food or drink or washing or anything like that. So this, but we are told that by the fuqaha that this water, which is now najis, it has acquired the property of what has changed it, can be used for animals. It could be used for vegetation or like farming. And then we speak about وَقُرِهَ مَاءُ. So now we're speaking about the water which is pure, used for its طاهر لنفسه مطهر لغيره. So it's got that quality of or the ruling, the quality of being pure and purifying other than itself. And then we have the water, or the element which is najis. And then we have something now which is in between, which is makruh, things which is undesired to use. وَكُرِهَ مَاءُ يَسِيرٌ اسْتُعْمِلَ فِي حَدَثٍ أَوْ حُلَّتْ بِهِ نَجَازَةٌ لَمْ تُغَيِّرُهُ. Very clear, very simple. It is makruh to use water. It is makruh to use water that is very small. Like we have this, and the scholars have discussed in the Malikiyah that this volume or this amount of water is a very small, like a sa' or sa'in, twice as amount. So somewhere between 1 liter or 2 liters or maybe 3. It's not 100% defined. A sa' or sa'in. So anything which one would use to wash or to make wudu, that amount, that volume of water, if it is little as that, it becomes makruh to use if حلت به نجاسة, if a najasa has touched it, but it has not changed it. Any of its properties has not changed. But the problem here is the volume is very small. Because the volume is very small, even if its 3 properties have not been altered, it becomes undesired to use. It's permissible to use. It becomes undesired to use. If there's no other water, then it is not undesirable. So it becomes permissible to use anyways. It's permissible to use with karaha, but if there's no other water, then one may use it anyways. And they have mentioned here وَكُرِهَ مَاءٌ أَوْ وَلَغَ أو ولغ فيه كلب ومشمس بقطر حار. Three waters that are become undesirable. One, it has been mixed with a little bit of najasa, but it has not changed its property. The second one, the dog has drank from it, like he licked it, his tongue has moved within the water, so he moved his saliva. His saliva has been mixed with this small amount of water. Or it is a body of water that has been extremely hot. And he speaks here about sitting under the sun. Very, very scorching sun in the land which is very hot, like maybe 50 or 60 degrees. Very, very hot. And I think that the reason here for its undesirable use is because it may be within a vessel that may be unhealthy to use, like in a vessel of copper, or it's been so hot, that it is makruh to use because it's so hot. So you don't do wudu with very hot or burning water, so you want to avoid that. So it's makruh to use that. Those 3 things are makruh to use. But the conditions that are given here is that it's a very small, very, very small. وعللت كراهة الاستعمال بعلل. This is from Imam As-Sawi. I'm going to skip Imam As-Sawi. So it is makruh to use for what? It is makruh to use it, but it's also makruh to use it from someone if it is small. So the condition is very small amount, and the other condition is if that water has been used by someone else. The other karaha is that someone else has used the water to do wudu, and that water dropped back in the same. So you're reusing the water of another person who has used it for wudu. So someone who has used water for wudu, that water which has dropped back in the vessel is also makruh to use. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu wa sallam ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi.